Good evening, everyone. This is Robert Jamieson. Welcome to our online chess lesson for Thursday, the 29th of May. I hope you've all had a quick look at the little puzzle, though at the moment only Maha has had a go at it. So I think I'll have a chat to Maha. You there, Maha? Talk to me, Maha. She's gone for a toss score, I think. Oh, well, I'll try it. All right. Callum. Hello, Callum. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, here.
You've only just got here, haven't you? So you haven't had a go at the puzzle yet?
Yes. I had a little bit.
You've had a little bit. All right. So now, if we see a position for the first time, what's the first thing we do?
Look at all checks and captures.
Well, let's assess the position first. So black is up by a pawn. So black's looking all right on material. And is white threatening anything? Seeing it's we're black.
White's threatening a check and to take a rook and take a bishop.
And he's also threatening. We've got to be careful because he's got two threats. He's got rook takes bishop, so that if the rook takes the rook, we can do a nasty pin, and that would probably be a win for white. Or he's also threatening to take the rook, and then he certainly wouldn't lose. Maybe it's a draw, not sure. All right, so we're in a little bit of a predicament. So what do you think black could do? Have you got any ideas?
I have a little idea.
All right, hit me with your best idea.
I think we might not work. We could go E2.
E2. All right, now that's a clever idea. So you explain to me what's happening. So what do you expect your opponent to reply? Because you're threatening rook. You're threatening rook F1 mate, aren't you? All right. Yeah. So you expect him to play bishop takes rook. All right. What are you going to do then?
I reckon they'll take my rook.
So white's just taken your rook. So if you're black now, what can you do?
Bishop E3.
Very good. I wonder how many people saw that. Bishop E3. And now if I play bishop takes bishop, you just get a queen.
Or rook.
Or even a rook and it's checkmate, yes. All right, and if I play rook A1, what do you do then?
I just take a bishop.
With what?
My bishop.
With your bishop. So you go bishop takes bishop, check. I go in the corner, and what do you do then?
A queen.
You queen. I take you. You take me.
Oh, mate, no.
You don't want to take me?
Maybe I should take the pawn.
Yes, you've fallen for my trap because you can't get me out of the corner without stalemating me. So your first move is correct. That's good. And if I play bishop takes rook, bishop e3, that's very good. You're using your imagination like we've talked about before. And if I play rook there, but you just take with a pawn, and then you're crushing me with the 2 pawns. All right. There is one other line you need to look at. So if you play there, is there any other line you need to analyse to be certain you're winning? Other than bishop?
To try and get the king, to keep the king on the bottom rank.
So could white do anything else in this position other than bishop takes rook?
Check.
Right, but you just move your king, and when you run out of checks, it's rook f1 mate, isn't it? So
I could,
there's one more idea.
He can take my bishop.
Yes, he can take the bishop. Okay, what are you going to do then?
Oh, I will.
Your bishop down, so you better do something good.
I know. I don't reckon I should take the rook.
What else can you do?
Well, nothing.
All right, so tell me what happens if you take the rook. White will go bishop takes
He takes Yeah, bishop takes d3.
Who's winning then?
Actually us, because then I just queen.
Bishop takes queen, though.
Oh, yeah.
Have you got better than the queen? Put your thinking cap on. Any of you guys want to help him? Type in the question box if you see a good move for black here. Black's trying to get a win. Maha wants rook f1. I'll take your king, Maha. It'll be check. You can't do rook f1. Any other idea, Callum?
No, nothing really.
Okay, so you're worried that bishop takes rook check, and then the bishop will go back and cover the queen.
Yeah. Oh, I know. We can move.
Yes, what can you do?
You just made the king.
Yeah, we just moved the king. So now bishop can't take the rook, and he's still threatening rook f1, so the bishop has to go to f2, and now I think you just sort of waddle up with your king, and you should eventually win. Oh, so there's a couple of little tricks and turns in that problem. So well done. That bishop e3 was the key move, so you spotted that. So thank you, Callum. I'll move on and give someone else a go. Let's see if Maha's come back. There, Maha.
Hi.
Hi. What happened before? You didn't talk to me.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize my computer was muted.
Ah, okay. All right, that's no good. All right, well, you're coming through loud and clear now. That's the main thing. All right, now today we're going to do something a little bit different before we look at the game from the RJ Shield on Sunday. We're going to pretend we're Capablanca. Do you know who Capablanca was?
Yes, a famous player.
Yes, he was world champion, I think, 1921 to 27, and a very famous player. And he's playing someone who's not very good. Anon for anonymous, you can see up there at the top. All right, now you pretend you're Capablanca, and I'll show you the start of the game. And there's a little bit of a problem. We'll see if people can help us solve the problem. So Capa goes e4. His opponent goes e5. Knight f3. Knight c6. That's all fine. Knight c3. Knight f6. Pretty boring game so far?
Yeah.
All right, what do you think Capa should do now?
Start developing his bishop b5.
Bishop b5 probably, but he goes to c4. All right, and guess what his opponent does?
I think it's the knight takes e4 trick.
No, his opponent does bishop c5. Can you see what Capa's problem is yet?
His opponent's been copycatting him.
Yes, his opponent's copying him. So even if his opponent's a really weak player, he's just going to copy Capablanca's moves, and Capablanca is the world champion making really good moves. So what can he do? So this is our conundrum for today. What do we do when someone's copying our moves? All right, let's go another move or two. Let's see what happens. So Capa goes castles. Other bloke goes castles. Right, any ideas? Maha, what should Capablanca do? How's he going to get out of all these copyings?
He should try and get a check.
Yes, he should try and get in a check, because you can't copy a check. You've got to get out of the check. But in the meantime, it's all copying. Right, what do you think you should do for white now? What move would you make?
Since he's copying us, he can make knight to h4, followed by knight to f5, followed by knight to h6 check.
Okay, he could be sneaky, because a move like knight h4, the other guy, if he copied him, we'd just take his knight and say, thanks very much, copy that one. So that would work. That would be one way to get out of the copying. The only trouble is knight h4 is like a pretty bad move, moving the knight twice, putting it offside. So maybe he doesn't want to make a bad move. So what would be the normal move, do you think, for white here?
d3 or d4.
Oh, well, we can't go d4 because that'd be attacked 3 times, defended twice. Right, so let's go d3. Now, the other bloke, of course, he goes d6. All right. What do you think Kappa should do now?
Bishop g5 should work.
Yeah, bishop g5. That looks like the best square for the bishop. And, of course, we know what the other guy is going to do. He's going to go bishop g4. Okay, now, so we could take him on f6, but then he takes us on f3. We take him on d8. He takes us on d1. Doesn't seem to be helping us. All right, let's everyone help us out here. So, guys, what do you think Capablanca should do now? What should be his next move, given that the opponent's a copycat? We can't check him yet, so our plan to check is no good. So type in the question box what move you reckon White should make here. Everyone's thinking hard. Nathan likes knight d5. He's trying to break up the position with some captures in a minute, I think. Anyone else have a thought? What are you thinking? Oh, Callum's going h3. And presumably the other guy goes h6. Getting a bit difficult. Cadence wants to take on f6. Oliver wants to give up a bishop with bishop takes f7 check. So that would stop the symmetry, but would lose a bishop for a pawn. So Maha, you got any ideas? What do you think?
Since the opponent's not that good of a player, it wouldn't hurt to lose a bit of material with bishop takes f7.
Oh, I
Shouldn't
think
hurt too
everyone,
much.
if you were world champion and you made a move like bishop takes f7, I think everyone would laugh at you and say, you've made a terrible one-move blunder. This is no good. So we want something better than that. Let's just keep playing good moves, shall we? And hopefully we'll get a chance to break the symmetry in a minute. So what do you reckon would be the
Knight
best?
d5.
Which move?
Knight d5.
Yes.
Knight d5.
Knight d5, yes. So we've got a good pin going on g5 against that knight. So let's keep that going. So, of course, we know what black's going to do. He's going to go knight d4. Right, so there's lots of different captures and things we could do here. All right, everyone, put on your thinking cap again. See if we can get Kappa's next move. So white to play and come up with a way to block the symmetry, or a way that's going to work out really well if his opponent keeps copying. So Maha wants to play knight takes f6. Now that's a check, so that's probably going to block the symmetry. Maybe black can check us the following move and do a similar thing to whatever we did. Cadence is looking at bishop takes f6. Callum's liking knight takes f6. This is a pretty good move he makes here, I think. So don't just look at the checks and captures. There might be another good move on the board. How we can try and finish him off quickly. Oliver's looking at c3. Nathan's looking at c3 now. So Maha, you're looking at knight takes knight check, or have you changed your mind?
I was thinking at knight takes d4.
Knight takes d4. What if he takes your queen?
I was thinking he'd probably copy us.
But he might not. We have to be careful, because the thing with copying is who's going to break the copying first? Is it going to be you stopping your opponent copying maybe with a check? Or is your opponent going to stop copying because you've made a bad move and then he gets a better position because he makes a good move? So we have to be a little bit careful. So not knight takes knight. So what would be your thought if knight takes knight is no good?
I guess you could try bishop takes f6.
Yeah, we could play bishop takes f6, and then what would be your follow-up plan if he does the same?
Bishop e7.
Bishop e7. He might just take our queen and then he'll be a move ahead.
Knight e7.
Knight e7 check. That might get out of it. You're very close. I didn't think anyone would get this move because it's an interesting move. I'll show you what he did. Let's have a look now. He does queen.
Bishop h6.
He does queen d2. Okay. Now, is this a bad move, I wonder? So let's have a quick look. Let's say black says, aha, Kappa's made a blunder. I'm going to break the symmetry. I'll go maybe knight takes knight, pawn takes knight, bishop takes pawn. What would Capablanca do here, Maha? Has he got a good combination here? Have a look at all checks and captures.
Knight takes f6 check right now.
You want to go knight takes, then I take with the pawn. What have you got then?
Bishop h6.
Right. Doesn't seem to be threatening too much other than the exchange. There is something better. Everyone help Maha. White to play. White has a really good move. 1, 2, 3, and it's all over if he sees the right plan here. So type in the question box, if you were white and you had this position, so it's not knight takes knight, check, pawn takes, bishop h6. Oliver's saying knight e7, but I'll just take it. Thank you for the free knight. Callum's going bishop h6. Nope, don't think it's that. Nathan's got the right move. Well done, Nathan. You got any second thoughts, Maha, before I say what Nathan's suggested?
Is it knight takes c7?
No. Let's look at his king. Think White's last move, queen d2. So that means the queen can perhaps get into the attack on the king side. So here, if this is what happened, White could play bishop takes f6, pawn takes, and then queen zooms in to h6. And next move, Black can't really stop it. We've got knight f6 and checkmate on h7. So that would be a killer. So this queen d2 move is a really cool move. But now, of course, let's see what Black does. I wonder what his plan is. Oh, he's gone queen d7. Okay. So now I think Capablanca's in a right spot to try and finish the other guy off. So I'll give you guys another go. White to play. We know he's going to copy us. So if he's going to be a copycat, how can we finish him off? Callum's going bishop f6. Maybe Callum. We'll see what others think. Oliver likes knight f6. Liam likes bishop f6. Maha's going knight f6. Dinal's going bishop f6. So we've got disagreement. Timmy's going knight f6. All right, Maha. Which one did you choose, Maha?
Knight f6.
So let's have a look. Knight f6. Pawn takes. What are you going to do then? You're going to do bishop takes f6.
Yes.
Okay, and you're threatening checkmate, so I'm in a pickle. What can I do? I wonder if I can play knight e6. Or do I just do... Wait a minute. Bishop takes knight. Oh, I can do bishop takes knight. Oh, no, I can't. Sorry, because you've got check, haven't you? Ooh. Looks fairly strong. Let's just have one more look again. So we're going knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. So how am I going to cover g5? Maybe I could even go knight e2 check. And if you take me, you haven't got the checkmate. And if you run away, I can block you on f4. So it's winning, but what he did was a different line that's even better. He went bishop takes. Now the other guy, of course, does bishop takes. What do you think Kappa's follow-up move was, Maha? Because the game's nearly over if you get the right move.
Queen G5.
Right, if you go Queen G5, then I'm going to go Queen G4. And you haven't got me in checkmate, have you? Or have you? Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. Anyone see a good move for white? White could play knight e7, king h8, bishop g7. Whoa. So, if you go queen g5, I can't go there. I've got to go g6. And then you've got queen h6, and I'm in a lot of trouble, I'm thinking. Right. Oh, no, I'm not. Wait a minute. I've got knight e6. So I'm hanging in there. Right, it wasn't queen g5. You want another go, Maha? Timmy's got it. Well done, Tim. Dinel's got it. Maha, what's your second attempt?
Knight e7.
Yes, exactly right. So remember we said to break the symmetry, we could do a check. So he's finally got a check in. The king has to move to h8. And what's our follow-up?
Bishop takes g7.
Bishop takes g7, correct. King takes, and then?
Queen to g5.
Right, king back and? You must have seen it if you've gone this far. Callum's seen it.
Queen to f6.
And it's checkmate. Yes! Oh, so that'll teach that rotten black player for trying to copy us. So Capablanca finished him off in 14 moves because he was able to break the symmetry with a nice checkmate. Okay, let's have a look at the next game. All right, thanks, Maha. I'll give someone else a go. Right, let's try Nathan. You there, Nathan?
Yeah.
Hi. How did you go with that? Did you get that nice finish?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep, that was pretty cool. All right. Now, funny thing happened at the RJ Field on Sunday because I was there watching my students and the other players and recording some of the games. I recorded this game between Moksh Goswami and Sean Tillman, who's my student. And I'll show you how it's done. Cool. Here we go. E4, E5. Bishop C4, Bishop C5. Knight C3, knight... Can you see what's happening? What do you think's happening?
Sorry?
Can you see what's happening here, sir?
Well, it's kind of a copycat game.
Yes. My student Sean is copying white. He's playing the copycat. Just like the guy did against Capablanca. Okay. So he's probably going to be in lots of trouble, like Kappa's opponent was. So let's see. So if you were white, what would you do here?
If I was white?
Yeah. You keep making normal moves, or you try and do something to break the copying?
I wanna first get my bishop free, so maybe pawn d3, or stick out my knight on d5.
Okay. Knight d5 would be moving a piece twice in the opening before you've completed your development, so that's probably a little bit naughty.
Then d3.
Oh well, he went knight f3. You happy with that, or you'd rather do d3?
Mm, yeah, I guess that's a good move, yeah. No, I'm happy with that.
All right, it's developing a piece and getting ready to castle, so that's all right. Now, of course, Sean does knight f6. All right. So he's still
Now I will do d3.
you do d3, that's right. And Sean does d6. Okay. Can you think of any strategy we can get out of this copying? What could we do? Or we worry about it
I
later?
think
Keep playing normal moves.
I think at the moment we can do something like maybe bishop b5 and then take the knight to check the king.
That
Or we could
would break it.
or we could do the other bishop to g5 and then take the knight to move the queen. So we can attack with the bishops from both sides.
But if we go bishop g5, he's probably going to go bishop g4. And if we take the knight, he's probably going to take our knight. So it's a bit of copying.
So,
All right, now just to stop for a second. So, irrespective of copying, I think both players have made a mistake in their choice of these opening moves so far. They've neglected to do something which I harp on
castle.
about. Not well, they're ready to castle. So let's give everyone a chance in the question box to see if they can pick it. So I rave on about this quite a bit. So at the moment, it's looking all right because White's got 3 pieces developed. So he's got 1, 2, 3. So we're trying to develop our minor pieces. That's okay. He's got a foothold in the centre. Pawn on e4. So we're trying to control the centre. That's okay. And he's ready to castle. Whoops, that's the wrong colour. Start again. He's ready to castle. This is what we're trying to do. So in theory,
I think
so hang on. So in theory, he's doing all the things that we normally say you should be trying to do, but he's forgotten about something, and Black is in the same boat because he's copied. So I want everyone in the question box to put down what is the problem with the opening they've both chosen. What have they forgotten to do? So you hang on, Nathan, and we'll see what the other people say, and then you can tell us what you think. So Maha's saying space. It's not a move as such. It's a general idea, something we should be trying to do that they've forgotten about. And we should be doing it in the opening, or at least preparing for it. At the moment, I've got everyone stumped because Maha's the only one who's made a comment so far saying space. I think they need your help, Nathan. Have you got an idea? Oh, hang on. Timmy's gone king safety. Not really, because they can both castle whenever they like and their kings will be safe. Callum has the right answer. Well done, Callum. Nathan, you want to give us your thoughts? What have they forgotten to do?
I think they've forgotten to take out the bishops, maybe.
No. Well, they've both got a bishop out, and the other bishop can come out whenever it likes. So that's not going to be a problem.
Defend against knight g4.
Knight g4 is not a problem because I just castle and my rook's defending f2.
I'm stumped as well, I guess.
Okay. Callum's the only one with the right answer. All right, let me ask you a question, Nathan, see if we can get around to it. How are you going to get your rooks into the game?
Open up the center or get an open file.
Correct. All right. So to get our rooks in the game, rooks need ideally open files or half-open files that they can penetrate the opponent's position from. Or if they haven't got an open file, maybe they can gang up behind a pawn that's going to push forwards and maybe have a swap off and then create an open file. Right, so you tell me, how can White create an open file in this position?
Maybe something like pawn b4.
Pawn to b4, or you give me a free pawn. I could just go back.
Yeah, and then I.
Do
Oh
you
yeah.
remember me talking about the 2 pawns side by side in previous lessons?
Side by side. No, I didn't think I was there.
Okay, you might have missed that. All right, well, let's have a look here. So normally the way we create an open file is to get 2 pawns side by side. So here, our advanced pawn is the E pawn. So we'd love to get our D pawn next to it, and then that can either have a swap to create an open file, or it can push on to gain us some more space. But look, we can't play D4 because we've only got it covered by the knight and the queen, and black's got it covered 3 times by the knight, the bishop, and the pawn. So black stopped us playing D4. All right, so if we can't get D4, the pawn we want is the F pawn. We'd love to get F4. But the problem is our knight's in the way, so to get the F pawn going, we'd have to move our knight out of the way. And if we've castled, then the F pawn is going to be pinned to the king anyway. So it's going to take us ages and ages to try and get 2 pawns side by side to get an open file. So that's why most openings, so like the Queen's Gambit, the King's Gambit, against the Sicilian, you always play an early D4 or C4 or F4, whatever, try and get those 2 pawns side by side. But these players, they're not thinking about that. So when I have my next lesson with Sean, I'm going to tell him off because he's chosen a bad opening. All right, whites go. Let's go back to the copying thing. What do you reckon we should do now?
Well, this won't stop the copying, but just king safety.
Okay, so just castle.
So then castle. Yeah, I think castle first.
All right. So you'd rather do castles than maybe say bishop g5 because he's just going to copy his bishop g4.
Then you can take with the queen. That won't do much.
Okay. So
I guess. No, am I?
So we're happy with castles?
Yeah.
All right. White castles. So white agrees with you. He's gone to make his king safe, and it's a normal looking move. But there's a problem. So if you're copying, is it better to be the person who's doing the copying or the person who's being copied?
Being copied.
Being copied. Yes, because you're ahead then. You're the one who can decide how to break it. And castles isn't like a threatening move. It's just a king safety move. So if you were black and you had your wits about you, instead of you castling, you could do
you can go and attack.
You can do a move that would maybe give you the lead in the copying stakes. So everyone, have a think. You type what you reckon black should play here instead of castling. Black has a good move now. So type in the question box. Sam's going bishop e6. Maha's going bishop g4. Everyone else is thinking hard. What do you reckon, Nathan? What would you do?
I quite like bishop g4.
Yes, I like bishop g4 too. Why do you like bishop g4? Is it threatening something?
Yes, threatening to take f3 and then forcing the queen to come out.
No, so
yeah,
what? Not threatening to take straight away. What is it threatening?
Knight d4.
Yes, it's threatening knight d4, and then this pin's becoming really annoying. We've got the bishop on the knight. We've got the knight on the knight. The queen can't move away because f3 would be undefended. That would be a really annoying thing. All right, so you'd say this is a pretty good pin, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
unless white can break it. Now, this is what I want to talk about a little bit about pinning, because so many juniors don't understand pinning. So there are good pins and there are bad pins. Now, if someone pins us, what would be our normal first reaction to the pin?
A block.
If our bishop could go to e2, for instance, we could block the pin, but in this situation we can't block it. So what do we do instead? Would be our normal idea.
Move the king.
How does that help?
Or move the piece that's attacked.
Oh, we can't move the knight, and if we move the queen, he's just going to take our knight, and then our kings all open up. We've got airy king syndrome. Have you heard about breaking the pin? How could I break the pin?
Breaking the...
You know what breaking the pin is?
Yeah, you could defend. Put another defending piece on the knight.
But I can't. There's no defending piece. So if I'm annoyed by this pin, I don't want this pin to keep pinning my knight. How can I try and get rid of it?
You can... Oh, right. H3.
Yes. All right. So most of the time, if someone pins you and you don't like it, you go H3 or A3 or H6 or A6, whatever the case may be. All right. So now this is the question where it's worked out whether it's a good pin or a bad pin. So if black says, oh, I don't want to take that knight, I'll just run away somewhere, would that mean it's been a good pin or a bad pin?
Sorry?
So if black said, after we go H3, if black says, all right, you're attacking my bishop, I'm just going to run away now, that would mean it's been a really
bad pin. That's a bad pin.
Black's given me a free move. Even worse, if he was to take my knight, I would take back, and now he's given me two free moves. My queen's out, I've got a free pawn move, and he's just done a equal trade, bishop for knight. So that would be a bad pin. So the only good way for black is if he goes back to keep the pin. Now this is the hard part. Now white has to decide, does he try and really break the pin with G4? What do you think?
I would break it.
Would that be good?
I would break it.
What do you think?
Actually, no, because... Well, I don't know, because it would force the bishop to G6 where he can't move at all, but it would open up the king.
Yes, it's a bit risky. Firstly, you have to watch out that black can't do a sacrifice, a piece for two pawns to open up the king and keep the pin. That could be a bit of a pain. Or even though the bishop's blocked out, white's king's now really open, and this G4 pawn can attack. Like black can go queen D7, castle queenside, and then throw the kitchen sink at us. So it's a bit difficult. But that's the normal thing, how we decide whether it's a good pin or a bad pin. If he can keep the pin, or if he has to really open up his king, it's a good pin. And in this case, it's only a good pin because white is castle. If his king wasn't there, we could just break the pin with G4 and we wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Right. So now actually, I'll give someone else a go. So thanks for your help, Nathan. Let's go on to give Oscar a go. There, Oscar?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, all right, you can help me with the next few moves. So it's white's go. So white now goes bishop B5. So now he's the one who's copying. Which is going to be good for black. So what do you reckon black should do now?
Well, maybe they can continue to develop somehow, find an open file for their rooks.
How do we get an open file? I can't see an open file. We need to exploit the fact that we're copying and we've got the lead.
Maybe you can try and break the copying, as in try and get a check or something.
Yeah, if we can find a good situation. So how we're going to build up to that? Think back to the Capablanca game a minute ago. What did he do in this scenario?
I think, did he move his knight to D4?
Yes, yeah. So that's the obvious move that we just talked about. So now we've got the two pieces attacking f3. So white has to be really careful. What do you think white did in reply?
Well, if he wants to continue copying, he can move his knight to d5.
Yep, he just did knight d5, exactly the same. All right, so now we're in Capablanca's position, except that we haven't castled, but we got the lead in the copying. So, what should we do? Right, let everyone go and type in on the question box, what do you reckon black should do here? Should he castle and make it a copy again and give the other bloke the lead, or should he do something different? Should he try and get a check like Capablanca got a check? So Sam's looking at knight takes f3 check, which would break the copying for the minute. What does the rest of you think?
I don't know.
Hayden is going knight takes f3 as well.
I'll take the boys' phone because mine's out of charge.
Oh.
I can take it.
You've got a lot of background noise there, Oscar.
Oh, sorry.
Shut the door
Yeah,
up,
it's
or
finishing soon.
finishing? All right, cool. So we've got Hayden and Sam both going knight takes f3.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
All right, what's your plan? Knight takes f3. And I'll take back with the pawn. What are you going to do then?
Well, you can continue to expose their open king and maybe move bishop to h3.
Okay. And he can't do the same to you because you haven't castled. Right, so that's possible. That's not what black did. I'll show you what black did. Black chose to put the question to the bishop straight away. He played h6.
Okay.
All right. What do you reckon white should do? Should he try and keep the pin with bishop h4, or should he take the knight with the knight or the bishop?
I think he should take the knight because if he moves back, then black's got nothing against moving up to g5.
Black can play g5 because his king's not there, and he's going to castle queenside, and that probably is going to work out all right. All right, so are you going to take the knight with the bishop or the knight? What do you think?
I'm gonna probably say the bishop, yeah.
Okay, that's what happened. I think maybe the knight would have been better because when the pawn takes, we can then play bishop h4. So we've still sort of got the pin, and if our king's in a bit of trouble, our bishop's sort of a good defender for the king. But he didn't do that. He went bishop takes knight, pawn takes. All right, I might give someone else a go. There's a bit too much background noise. Thanks, Oscar, anyway. All right, let's try Sam. You there, Sam? Talk to me, Sam. Have you got a microphone? Nope, Sam hasn't got a microphone. We'll try Tim. You there, Tim?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. All right, you can bring us home and see if we can finish off this game, hopefully. Okay, so white just took with the bishop, and black just took back with the pawn. Now white decided, now we've broken the symmetry, white decides to play b4, attacking the bishop. So you've got lots of things you could do. You could move your bishop, you could take the knight on f3 with your bishop or the knight. You could maybe attack white's knight by pawn to c6. So let's get everyone to help you because this is pretty difficult. All right, black to play. What move would you make if you were black in this position? White just played b4, attacking your bishop. And we're now out of the symmetry, and we hope it's going to work out okay for us because we've had the lead in the symmetry. So let's see what people think. Everyone's thinking hard. I haven't got any replies yet. What move are you looking at, Tim? Cadence is saying knight takes f3. Do you like that, or you want bishop takes f3, or you want to move your bishop?
I'm kind of looking at them both. I mean, if you cut knight, it's cheek.
Yep. And that would open up the king a bit. That might be all right.
Yeah.
That means we won't have that pin anymore. So far, Cadence is the only one with a suggestion. Everyone else is thinking hard. So shall we go with knight f3, or do you want to change your mind and do something different?
We'll go with knight f3.
All right, so that's what black decided in the game. He goes knight f3, and white obviously takes back. And now I think black hopefully suddenly realised he's got a little bit of a problem, because he's got one bishop attacked and the other bishop attacked. So he's under a double attack. So if he moves one bishop, probably white's going to take the other one, and black will be a piece down. So Houston, we have a problem. What can we do? Everyone put your thinking cap on. We may have made a boo-boo. Perhaps we've taken the wrong piece. Black to play. What can he do here? Does he save his white squared bishop, his dark squared bishop, or does he counter-attack the knight maybe with c6? Maha's liking c6. Sam's looking at bishop takes f3. Tim's looking at bishop h3. Callum's looking at bishop h3. All right. No one else got any thought? All right, Tim, your solution to the problem, me bishop, what are you going to do?
Bishop h3.
All right, so your idea is what? So you get the rook even if you do lose the two bishops? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
All right, so you go bishop h3. I take your bishop. All right, now everyone type in the question box what move you think black should do here. Because he's just lost a piece. Black to play. What move would you make? Oliver's decided on his move. Maha's decided. Callum's decided. Waifu's decided. Most of you are coming up with the right answer. I'm very impressed. Timmy, what move would you do if you were black?
Bishop takes rook.
Okay. Did you look at any other moves, or you just looked at that as being the obvious move and you may as well do it?
Wait.
I'm thinking you only looked at bishop takes rook. Just about everyone else except for Dinal and Maha. Now Maha's found the right move. Yes, because this was really funny, because I'm standing behind this game, recording it on my pad, and I'm thinking, you beauty, my student Black, Sam, has got a killer move, and I keep telling all my students to look at all checks and captures, but then suddenly poor old Sean's hand reached out, and he played bishop takes rook. And I'm there screaming, rook g8 check, it's bait in 3. King h1, bishop g2, king g1, bishop f3, mate. Oh, so most of you saw that, which I'm really pleased about. Timmy, you didn't see that one. You just went for the rook. So you're like
Yeah.
Sean. So bishop takes rook. The other guy played queen takes bishop. Sean played pawn takes pawn. Moved the king away, and we had this position where white has bishop and knight against the rook, and Sean eventually lost fairly horribly. So it was a bit sad, but I thought that was a good lesson to remind all you guys, always look at all checks and captures. And that way you won't miss out mate on 3 like poor old Sean did. But it was an interesting game for the copying side of it too. So if you're ever in a situation where someone's copying you, you'll know what to do, how long you keep the copying going for, and perhaps break it with a check, and hopefully it'll work out well for you. All right, well, thank you, Tim, and thank you, everyone, for today's lesson. And I look forward to seeing you all next Thursday for our next lesson. Thanks and good night.